Guys, howdy. Bitcoin with Dinny, it's Dinny here. What is the crack with you? How to retire on Bitcoin? Thought I'd just do a little video, help you to understand the volatility, because it's the volatility is how you retire on Bitcoin. Most people can't see the wood for the trees on this one, because they're so focused in daily news, daily volatility. Oh, the German government are selling their Bitcoin. None of this stuff matters if you want to retire on Bitcoin, and it's just to have the skill to be able to navigate it correctly. And that's what I want to chat to you a little bit about today. If that sounds good, do me a favor, take a finger out like this, give it a stretch, find the like button, and give it a little press. Helps the algorithm for us. My name is Dinny, and I run Ireland's first Bitcoin consulting company, and we're in our 5th year now of helping people to use Bitcoin as a pension strategy, both personally and through their businesses, to help people to retire early and help their businesses outperform their competition. If you're ever interested in what we do, check out bitcoinwithdinny.com. I also have a heap of online courses in our Retire Early Club to teach you everything I've learned over the years to understand Bitcoin and how to retire early. But I want to just keep it simple and just give you the information, okay? So you understand this. Since 2020, Bitcoin has averaged 100% returns per year. So what that means in simple terms is every euro that you put into it became worth twice as much, okay, each year. So in the first year it became worth €2, but in the second year it became worth €4, and in the third year it became worth €8, and in the fourth year that €1 became worth €16. And see, this is the power of compounding. Nobody understands this. You know, humans, we don't get exponential growth. Our brains just don't compute it, okay? And an example of that is, you may have heard this before, but if you get an envelope or a piece of paper, let me just get out here. If you take a piece of paper and you fold it once and you fold it twice, every time you fold it, it's getting twice as thick, okay? But if you could fold it 48 more times, 50 times, folding one sheet of paper takes you to the sun, folks. That's crazy, isn't it? That one sheet of paper folded over just 50 times gets you to the sun. That's exponential growth. So, and it's the same way as that €1 that you saved 4 years later is worth €16. Imagine you save more. What if you save 10 grand? What if you save 10 grand a year? This is how we retire early, folks. Okay? Now, in the daily, the noise is incredible. Bitcoin's going up and down and crashing and nothing's really happening, then everything is happening. So it's so difficult. And this is why I never try to time my Bitcoin purchases. I never look at the market. I never look at the news. I don't care what the German government doing, what the American government are doing. I don't care about any of that. Once I understood Bitcoin, okay, and I understood it well enough, I realized, oh my God, this is the first system of wealth that has no bleed, no leakage, no inflation rate. Okay, every other system that you can store your wealth in has a bleed, has an inflation, okay, or has a leakage. And therefore, although they still go up in value, none of them can go up as fast as Bitcoin. And that's why over the last 15 years, the highest performing thing on the planet has been Bitcoin. And for the next 15 years, not financial advice, nothing you hear is financial advice. But to me, it looks pretty obvious that this Bitcoin system, this closed, adiabatic system, as Michael Saylor would call it, is a sealed system, okay? And if you're not sure what that means, imagine the plumbing in your house. That's a sealed system, okay? The only way to take water out of that system is to open the tap, and that's the bleed. But you shouldn't have a leak. You shouldn't be losing water unless your tap is open. But when on most systems of wealth, we do have a bleed. They're constantly being inflated, okay? Or they're losing, or more of them is being created, which is basically an inflation rate. So Bitcoin's the first thing that doesn't have that bleed, and it doesn't have that inflation rate. And that's why it's pretty simple. It's the only thing on the planet that has this, and that's why it's the highest performing thing on the planet, because all wealth is looking for is scarcity, okay? Wealth seeks scarcity, and that's how it retains its purchasing power, okay? And a really easy example of that is the euro. I went for my breakfast this morning with my wife. I paid over 40 quid just for 2 breakfasts and 2 coffees. And I was jokingly saying to her, Jeannie, I remember it wasn't that long ago that you got 2 breakfasts for 1 blue. You know, a 20 quid note. Now I have to give 2 blues, 2 20 quid notes. And that's simply because euros aren't scarce. And since 2020, the European Central Bank printed so much of them. And that devalued all the euros that we have. It just means everything costs more. They diluted our purchasing power. And they're going to continue to do that for the next decade. They have to, because that system is so indebted, so there's no choice. And that's why Bitcoin is a lifeboat and a savior to me. So Bitcoin returned since 2020. In 2020, Bitcoin returned 300%. 300. Okay, crazy stuff. In 2020, I've written on my hand here, 2021, 40%. Okay, 2022, we went down 65. And 2023, we went up 155%. Now, these are just crude numbers. Okay? But that averages just over 100% a year. So, walk through this with me. This is the exponential growth. This is how my business doesn't have to work as hard as normal businesses. Why I don't work Fridays. Why I don't work Mondays. Why, you know, I only work maybe 1 or 2 days a week when I want. Okay? And I'm not saying that to gloat or boast. There was a time when I worked every hour God sended, because I didn't understand money and I didn't understand Bitcoin, and life was way harder. And once you understand Bitcoin, life does get easier. It doesn't get easier automatically. I always say, you have a 4-year apprenticeship, spend 4 years using this thing, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. It'll make your life a hell of a lot easier. But walk through this with me. Let's just say, for easy numbers, you're saving 10 grand a year in Bitcoin, whatever that is, 800 euros a month. Let's just say you go pure pension strategy. I'm going to go mad bull Bitcoin. Well, in the first year, you've saved 10 grand. Okay? But if you were to hold that for the 4 years, over the last 4 years, that 10, okay, it went to 20, then it went to 40, then it went to 80. That's just your first year. But what if in the second year you continued your pension strategy? This is what we help people to build out, and that's why some of our clients have retired early. In the second year, you saved another 10. Well, that 10 now goes to 20 and 40. Okay? Plus your 80. There's 100k. Your third year, you save 10. And on your average, that doubles. Now you have 120 grand. And your fourth year, you just saved 10. So you have 130 grand. You invested 40, your purchasing power is 130. 4-year apprenticeship. This is what I'm speaking about, folks. Okay? In 4 short years, you've got a pension the size of a lot of people who spent 20 or 30 years trying to work to get a pension this big. And this is the power of Bitcoin. There's no guarantee that that continues in the future, but fundamentally, to me, looks highly likely. That all occurred when presidents were saying they didn't like Bitcoin. That all occurred when we didn't have Bitcoin ETFs. That all occurred when most people thought Bitcoin was just money for tax avoidance and doing nefarious things. Now Bitcoin is breaking into the mainstream. Everybody needs this system of wealth. Just like the internet, everybody will use it. They won't have a choice in the future. Okay? And this is why, if you're prepared to do the work on it, prepared to create a little strategy, okay, it's got the ability to afford you much more purchasing power. The best discovery I ever made for my wealth was studying Bitcoin. The best discovery I ever made for my health and my weight was to study fasting. Life's really easy once you get those two concepts. I know the whole financial system makes it seem very complicated, and it's full of rent seekers to try and get your money and put it in pensions, and it's all just nonsense. None of it's keeping up with Bitcoin. You can do it all yourself. We can teach you. Fair enough, I have a school where we spent a year teaching it. But we basically have to spend a year to get you to unlearn all the nonsense that's been put into you. That's all not true. But it's as simple as easy as that, guys. Okay? The concept is very simple. Every month I just accumulate more Bitcoin. I've done it for years, and I'll continue to do it for years. And the longer I do it, the better it gets, like all investing. Okay? Compounding is the 8th wonder of the world. And the sooner you start, the better. And it's never too late to start. Guys, I hope you liked this video. Let me know in the comments if you've got some value. Let me know if you are accumulating and you have your own Bitcoin strategy. And you're not watching YouTubers shouting at you to buy and sell. It's all noise. It's all nonsense. No one who tries this strategy, because in my office, okay, I've had hundreds of clients that we've consulted with personally. Alright? And through my Retire Early Club, we've probably had over 1,000 people. We've 300 people currently in the school. Okay, but we've probably had over 1,000 people take the course. I don't know a single one of them who tried the alternative strategy of speculating on the latest thing, trying to find the next altcoin, the pump and dumps, okay, or trading. Not a single person who's tried any of that stuff lives a life of freedom, made money, okay? But every single person, all the Bitcoin free people that I know are people who've done that simple strategy that I just told you. No guarantee it works for you in the future. I can't guarantee that, because there's no guarantees in anything in life, especially in financial. But if you do the work, you understand the thing. If you need help to understand it, check out what we do. But if you do the work and you create your strategy, this is a timeless strategy. It's not just in Bitcoin. Investing like this has been how people have invested for decades, for hundreds of years, for thousands of years. It won't make you rich overnight, but it will. It has the potential to give you future freedom. You can't change your life in a year, but you can totally change your life and your family's life and your generational life in a decade of hard work. Guys, hope you get some value from that. Let me know what you think. Happy Friday to yous. Dinny out.